Welcome to the second annual Butterfly Ball. My name is Kim Whitmore. I am a co-founder and current board president for the Alana Rose Foundation. It is so great to have all of you joining us this year virtually for our second annual Butterfly Ball. We know these are crazy times, and we hope that you're enjoying cocooning in at home as you watch this evening's program. Our first annual Butterfly Ball was held last February on February 27th, and it was a huge success. We are so grateful that we were able to have that inaugural event just before the COVID-19 pandemic hit and the world shut down. It is so hard to believe all that has happened in the last year. We know that for many, 2020 was the worst year ever. But to me and my family, 2019 was and always will be the worst year ever. It was the year that our daughter, Alana Rose, was stillborn at 32 weeks, and our world truly stood still. Yesterday, our sweet baby girl would have turned 2 years old. While we would much rather be throwing her a second birthday party with butterflies and unicorns and rainbows, we can't imagine a better way to celebrate in her absence than to be here with each of you tonight. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. When we started the Alana Rose Foundation, we had no idea how healing it would be for our entire family. The opportunity to pay it forward to support other families that experience pregnancy and infant loss has been a true gift. Over the past year, we have really grown the work of the foundation in so many ways. I'll tell you a little bit about some of the activities that we've been able to do with your support. We've been able to solicit donations of wedding gowns to help make angel gowns to help support families that lose a child to have a beautiful gown for their babies to be buried in. We've also made beautiful grave blankets for babies to help decorate their final resting place. And we had the opportunity to donate a casket to a family that had a recent loss in our local community. We've done many educational and advocacy sessions. We've talked to students in different health disciplines and talked at conferences. We've participated in media interviews and radio shows to help raise awareness and destigmatize pregnancy and infant loss. We've even been involved in advocacy efforts, one of which was testifying for the stillbirth tax credit last year, and we will be advocating for that again this year in our Wisconsin legislature. Our son Quentin continues to make and sell his cranes, so if you haven't yet got your crane ornaments, that's a very special fundraiser that he has started, and we have information on our website about that. And our angel butterfly display that honors babies who have left this world too soon currently has more than 100 names on our website, and we welcome you to continue to add those babies that you love to honor and remember them year-round. We started a blog that features stories of love and loss. We've raised money to purchase a cuddle cot for Meritor's infant and pregnancy loss program as well. And on October 15th, on International Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day, we hosted a virtual Wave of Light ceremony. In 2019, in total, we donated over $12,000 to local partner organizations that help support families who experience pregnancy and infant loss. And most important, overall, helping to raise awareness and reduce stigma around this topic has been a true gift for us as a family. While my heart breaks all over again every time I hear about another baby who has died, I am so glad when someone reaches out to me and asks for advice and support. Tonight, we have a very special program planned that I believe will inspire each of you in different ways. We know that the topic of babies dying is often uncomfortable for so many to talk about. But tonight, our hope isn't that you will feel sad and hopeless, but that you will feel inspired to help raise awareness and hopefully lots of money to support families who experience pregnancy and infant loss, something that impacts 1 in 4 women. Because of the success of last year's event, We were able to donate $8,000 to UnityPoint Health Meritor's Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program. This year, half of our proceeds will support Harambee Village's efforts to establish the Harambee Village Birth and Family Center in order to address the alarming disparities in birth outcomes among Black women in southern Wisconsin and Dane County. A quarter of our proceeds will continue to support UnityPoint Health Meritor's Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program, and the remainder will continue to contribute to the ongoing efforts of the Alana Rose Foundation to raise awareness and provide hope, healing, and support to families who experience pregnancy and infant loss. Our goal tonight is ambitious. We hope to raise $10,000, and with your help, we believe we can reach this goal. So we encourage you to bid high and bid often on our online silent auction. Purchase your Alana swag online or make a donation at alanarose.org. We envision a world in which all families who experience pregnancy and infant loss receive the love and support that they need throughout their grief journey so that they may ultimately be transformed by their experience in a way that promotes hope and healing. Together, we believe we can see this vision come true. And again, we thank you for being with us tonight and for your ongoing support of the Alana Rose Foundation. Next, I'm so excited to introduce our son, Quentin Whitmore, who is 12 years old, and he's going to be performing a special song in honor of his baby sister.
Hello, my name is Katerina Grande, and I work for Public Health Madison in Dane County, where I lead the Fetal and Infant Mortality Review, or FEMR. Tonight, I'm going to provide a brief data update in order to frame the evening's events. So the Dane County FEMR is a multidisciplinary group of people representing public health, healthcare systems, doulas, lactation specialists, social workers, medical records, technology experts, researchers, people who have experienced fetal or infant loss, and other social service providers. During FEMR, we review summarized records of the circumstances leading up to and surrounding a fetal or infant loss. Data and information gleaned during data gathering and case review are used to inform action and changes in systems. This is how FEMR usually works. However, during 2020, our entire team was deployed to the COVID response, and most of us remain there today. While we haven't been able to review the stories and context of the 28 infants who we lost in our county in 2020, we have tried to stay as connected as we can and hear about how the many organizations and individuals creatively supported pregnant people in a most challenging year. Today, I'd like to share a brief data update summarizing what we know so far about trends that we saw in 2020. As we're well aware, pregnancy and birth outcomes are important indicators of the health and well-being of our community. We also know that maternal health, preconception health, and all the upstream determinants of health, like racial justice and economic justice, are critical in understanding pregnancy and birth outcomes. In this data update, we're focusing on just a small piece of this bigger picture. For the past 5 years, we've seen about 30 infant deaths total per year in our county. We know that any infant death is too many. We continue to see persistent racial inequities. We see a persistent gap between white and Black infant mortality rates. We also see another concerning data point emerging, a widening gap between Hispanic and white births, with the 3-year rolling average of infant mortality among Hispanic babies the highest it has been. As you're well aware, these racial inequities in infant mortality are not due to accident. Structural racism is the root cause. When families of color and pregnant people of color face discrimination and structural racism, it manifests in challenges such as access to stable housing, a living wage job, and reliable transportation. All of this results in chronic stress, which impacts birth outcomes. Low birth weight is when an infant is born weighing 5 pounds, 8 ounces or less. Low birth weight can be a risk factor for infant mortality. About 400 infants per year in Dane County are born with low birth weight. We see racial inequities in low birth weight, with Black babies twice as likely to have low birth weight than non-Hispanic white babies. Again, structural racism plays a role here. So what is being done to impact the underlying causes of inequities in birth outcomes? Through the challenges of 2020, there were some bright spots. The Black Maternal and Child Health Alliance of Dane County was launched. The mission of the Black Maternal and Child Health Alliance is to transform birth outcomes in Dane County by identifying, informing, and advancing strategies that improve the reproductive, maternal, and newborn health of Dane County's Black population. The Alliance is comprised of 21 local Black women leaders, advocates, and community influencers, led by Dr. Tiffany Green and Chief Programs Officer for the Foundation for Black Women's Wellness, Aaliyah Stevenson. In addition, a number of local health systems enacted racial justice initiatives during 2020. Furthermore, health systems, along with Dane County, are advocating for the Black Maternal Health Momnibus, proposed federal legislation that would provide funding to grow and diversify the workforce of maternal health, including nurse practitioners, doulas, and community health workers. Finally, our health department is partnering with the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and Harambee Village doulas and the Wisconsin Medicaid program to blend the existing prenatal care coordination home visiting program with community doula services. So as we remember those that we have lost tonight, let us also have hope for our community's future. Thank you.
Next, we have a special musical performance by the talented Shekinah King.
This is what it means to be held, how it feels when the sacred is torn from your life and you survive. This is what it is to be loved and to know that the promise was when everything fell, we'd be held. This hand is bitterness, we want to taste it, let the hatred numb our sorrow, and the wise hand opens slowly to lilies of the valley's end. Tomorrow, this is what it means to be held, how it feels when the sacred is torn from your life and you survive. This is what it is to be loved and to know that the promise was when everything fell, we'd be held. We'd be held. We'd be
Next, we have Dr. Ryan McAdams, who's going to share a little bit behind the story of some special artwork that he was able to do for the Alana Rose Foundation.
I got started in painting during medical school. I thought it might be a way to help me process what I was seeing. I'm Ryan McAdams. I'm the Neonatology Division Chief at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The reason I paint is really to capture stories of the things I get to see as a neonatologist. The purpose is really just to show non-medical people what it's like to take care of critically ill babies. In the NICU, we see a range of emotions from sadness and grief to happiness and joy. So when I paint, I try to include those different emotions, and that way it can be shared with others and may resonate with people who have had experiences where their child has passed away. And maybe that generates a conversation that otherwise wouldn't have been there, and that can be therapeutic for someone. So the event this year is called the Butterfly Ball, and it's in memory of a little girl who died, Alana Rose. The intent of it is to help people through love and kindness, help them heal through their grief and raise money for maternal and child health. The title of the painting is The Journey, and since it's for the Butterfly Ball, I thought butterflies were appropriate for the painting. There's a number of butterflies and they're flying out of a baby's bassinet off into the world, and to me symbolize the hopes and the dreams and the excitement of life. And there's also the fragility of a butterfly and the beauty of a butterfly, which is not too dissimilar to a premature baby. This painting could apply to someone who lost a baby or someone who didn't. And so there's elements in the painting, I think, that are symbolic of that process. It's interesting sometimes how art can be used to build relationships, and the family then will have those memories and they can look at them on their wall and hopefully reflect on them in a positive way.
Next, you will hear from Michelle Schrader, who is from UnityPoint Health Meritor's Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program.
Hello, my name is Michelle Schrader. I am the Family Care Clinical Nurse Specialist at UnityPoint Health Meritor Hospital. I lead our Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program with Laura Zebarth, our Neonatal Intensive Care Unit Clinical Nurse Specialist. Together, Laura and I provide staff education and training, program planning, coordination, and quality monitoring, while working directly with families and staff to assure compassionate bereavement care. I am privileged to be representing our bereavement care team of nurses, providers, chaplains, social workers, and program support staff who are dedicated to offering families compassionate care during a time of profound pain and grief. I am thankful for the opportunity to honor Alana and her family, whom I initially came to know when Kim, always a mother to all of her children, asked for someone with pediatric expertise who could be present with Quentin and Christian in developmentally appropriate ways to support what they might be experiencing during the double trauma of losing their sister and nearly losing their mother. Even though 1% of infants lost via stillbirth or death shortly after delivery may not sound like much, compared to, for instance, the 4,825 infants born at UnityPoint Health Meritor Hospital in 2020, each and every one of those losses represents countless lives, such as mothers, fathers, brothers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, family and friends, that have been touched or altered in an instant for a lifetime when a pregnancy ends in unanticipated and unimaginable loss. There is nothing easy about what the Whitmore family has gone through these past 2 years. While enduring much, they continue to open their hearts to help others experiencing a pregnancy or infant loss. They are incredible advocates and a steady, shining light for all those who find themselves on or accompanying someone on this difficult, unasked for journey. At UnityPoint Health Meritor, we are honored to be recipients of some very special gifts made possible by the extraordinary legacy of love created by the Whitmore family and their friends to honor Alana Rose. Last year, those attending the inaugural Butterfly Ball made possible a donation of $8,000 to UPH Meritor's Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program, funds which helped us purchase a second cuddle cot, which is a cooling system that preserves a baby's body so a family can spend more time with their baby before leaving the hospital. We'd like to take a moment to read the content of a plaque that will be affixed to the cuddle cot carrying case, which reads, "Your wings were ready, our hearts were not." Donated in loving memory of Alana Rose Whitmore, born to eternal life on February 26, 2019. Please know how much we at UnityPoint Health Meritor are grateful for you, for your work to make a difference for families experiencing a pregnancy or infant loss, and for your support of our Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program. Thank you.
Next, Patrick Kempfer will share a father's journey.
This was written January 21st, 2019. Just about a day after. We lost him. His body just never had the strength. And I've never felt so in love, sad, and full of rage in all my life. I feel like I'm broken. I feel like the helpless being. And yet, I feel like my pain could destroy worlds. He never moved. He never took a real breath. He never made a sound. His heart tried for as long as it could. And then he died in my hands. Our son, Journey Russell Kempfer, lived for less than an hour. He was born January 19th at 11:52 p.m. By 12:35 a.m., just 48 minutes later, he was gone. I can't imagine feeling good about anything ever again. I know it's nonsense, and of course I'm a survivor. But the way I feel right now, I don't really want to be. And I feel myself slipping into an existential crisis, questioning my continued existence, while lamenting over the death of my son. All either of us can really do right now is put our feet on the ground and just put one in front of the other. And hope that they don't lead us astray. All the love and kindness is greatly needed and appreciated. We still have so much to think about and decisions to make regarding the funeral expenses, while simply remembering to breathe. It's all either of us can do right now. Since writing that, the relationship with Journey's mother disintegrated into despair, sorrow, depression, madness, substance abuse, psychosis, and more despair. Thankfully, each of us on our own are feeling and doing far better than we were, although not together. Then that's okay. I think it's remarkable that a person can keep themselves alive and functional after suffering such a loss. To be able to continue on with another person, knowing that just their existence, that, you know, every move they make, every sound they make, every memory you have together surrounds that pinnacle moment, and it's reminding of that deep pain that you experienced together. If two people can remain in a relationship and move forward and try again, I sincerely, I wish you all the best, and I think it's great that you can be an example to some, to give them hope that they can continue on together. It simply wasn't the case for me and my partner. That's okay. I've come to know me far better than I ever thought I would. Looking backward one more time, I never knew anything could hurt as much as the loss of my son, Journey. But of course, I went searching for answers. And if I did believe in God or a plan or a purpose, I'd be concerned that kind of thinking could be dangerous. Because it is ingrained in us as people to apply a sense of reason, logic, understanding. We create answers. That is why we have science and gods and Google. But also to establish a timeline of action and responsibility. We want to look through the peephole of historical significance and see the part each action, event, or individual plays so that we can identify, maybe vilify, or otherwise attribute cause and effect. Because we somehow feel better by going, yes, that's the bad guy, get him. Or, look at me, did you see what I did? But sometimes, there is no bad guy. More malicious plot. No hero to save the day. And no special plan. Sometimes it's just a rock in space that gets knocked into another rock and sends it on a journey through the unknown and on a path of another, bigger, much bigger rock. By crashing into that rock, billions are lost and gone in an instant, making way for future existence to grow and flourish. Sometimes, it's just two people expecting a baby, and a quiet little infection disrupts the process and the baby's born too soon to survive. So the parents decide to give him all the love they can in the short time that he's alive, and in doing so, creating a foundation of love and strength and kindness and courage for future existence to grow and flourish. How the gods kill is seemingly without reason or logic. And although purpose may prove to be too heady a proposition for us at first, in the end, everything we experience is just clearing a path for the history that's sure to be coming behind it. Ultimately, it's always been about the journey. We can never replace that part of ourselves that gets lost when we lose a child at any age. And that feeling of emptiness will always linger despite our best efforts and the comfort of others. However, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much or how often we cry, we can find solace in knowing what such a love can feel like. And we can keep that love alive by speaking the name of our child with every opportunity. This is what we must do to survive. This is what we must do to survive their death. And we must do it every day. And we must move forward in life because, As I've said before, and I will say again, our children would want us to live in their stead. I still feel my son with me, his presence. Call it a spiritual connection. Some refer to it as an angelic presence. Maybe in some period of history, some would have thought they were being haunted by a ghost. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than I still feel just as connected to him as I did the day he was born and I held him in my hands. Nothing could ever take that away, and it's taken me some time, over 2 years now, to accept that I can never hold him in my hands. But that matters very little now, because no matter what happens ever in life, I will always be holding him in my heart. And I couldn't ask for any more. Thank you.
Next up, we'll hear from Tia Murray, who will talk more about the important work through Harambee Village.
Harambee Village is a collective of birth professionals who support underrepresented women and birthing people through both birthing services as well as community advocacy. Our mission at Harambee is to dismantle disparities of race, class, gender, and sexuality, which often lead to negative birth experiences, especially for women of color, women with economic barriers, survivors of trauma, immigrant women, as well as queer and transgendered folks. We put mothers and babies first, working effectively with their entire support team, including partners, family members, midwives, or other medical personnel, to provide well-rounded care. The impact that our doulas are making in homes, we are also making outside of homes, and that is what drives us to continue to do this work. Our doula agency believes in action-based solutions to addressing inequities in perinatal health care, particularly for families of color, but across the board for all birthing people. Not only are our doulas working on a grassroots level to holistically support birthing families, our doula agency is working diligently with local stakeholders to implement true policy, systems, and environmental changes that are necessary in order to truly combat inequities in maternal child health outcomes. Our mission at Harambee Village is in our name. Harambee is a Swahili term that means let's pull together. And at Harambee Village, we are pulling our community together in order to improve health outcomes for birthing people and babies, while simultaneously promoting health equity across the board. Our mission is to enhance the childbearing experience, to empower birthing people by promoting doula support and by advocating for evidence-based care and providing accessible education based on patient-centered care as well. Our commitment entails access to equitable prenatal support systems because we know that that enhances relationships and strengthens our village overall. At Harambee Village, we provide a safe space for mothers and parents to have access to the support, compassion, and healthcare that they deserve. Harambee Village is a community-based agency that consists of a team of trusted, community-based doulas trained by the industry's leading organizations. Our work not only involves educating the community, challenging racism, addressing gaps between policy and practice within the healthcare system, it also involves combating the overuse of medical interventions on birthing bodies, or filling in the gaps in respect to knowledge that providers need to know in order to better serve birthing and pregnant people and to preventatively take an approach to reducing inequitable outcomes. Additionally, the work at Harambee Village is done through a reproductive justice framework and it includes the right to choose whether or not to carry a pregnancy, to choose when, where, how, and with whom to birth, including access to traditional and indigenous birth workers, such as midwives and doulas, and it also includes the right to breastfeeding support. So thank you for listening, and let us pull together for you. And we welcome anybody to come and support our village. You can visit us at www.harambeevillage.org and learn much more about our current work and our future work with our upcoming Harambee Village Birth and Family Center.
One of the things that inspired me to be a doula was finding out about the avocation roles. Being a doula, I mean, you are there to support the mom, but you are also there to advocate for the mom, for the baby, for the family if necessary.
So actually I've been a doula for the last 16 years. I've always had a love and interest for a maternal child. In the process of me trying to figure out what I want to be, whether it be a nurse or a midwife, it was actually a stranger that encouraged me that if you want to know what it's like being in the labor and delivery room, why don't you try being a doula? So I looked into that and got familiar with DONA, Doulas of North America. That's where I got my training. So from there, I was like, I think this is what I want to do. So I did it for a few years, and then I said, you know what, I need to go back to school and become a nurse and combine the two skills. So as of right now, I'm a labor and delivery nurse as well as a doula.
What inspired me to become a doula was ultimately my experiences as a child, where my own mother was experiencing a lot of reproductive justice health issues. And as I got older, I realized that a lot of her issues were attributed to her race. And I realized that there are disparities in healthcare depending on how a person looks. And for me, I just found that unacceptable. And so I just wanted to make a change. And instead of just talking about it, I decided to do it.
I enjoy Harambee Village simply because they provide so many different services to families, to the mom, the wraparound services that they provide in order to assist the family however they need to make sure that baby has an excellent birth, or mom has an excellent birth and baby has an excellent experience.
Well, what I enjoy about being at Harambee is I feel like I'm a team player. I don't feel like I work for them. I feel like we work together. They empower me to utilize all my God-given ability, especially as a nurse, especially as a doula, especially as an advocate. And they've stretched me in ways that I never thought I could. So I've been able to be a part of some really important conversations in the Madison, Dane County community that I wasn't a part of before.
What I enjoy about being a Harambee Village doula is it doesn't just feel like we're only being doulas. We're also a community-based doula organization. And so we do a lot of work within the community. We do a lot of work for the mothers and the birthing people that we serve. Now, we don't just do work for them, we do work with them. We invite them to things, we have gatherings, we have events, and we make sure that the person is supported not just within their pregnancy, but out of it as well. And Harambee Village makes sure that it is not just an organization, but we are in fact a village.
The advice that I would provide to any party interested in becoming a doula is to be prepared. You will be working with parties who are from all different walks of life, different experiences. So it is very important to make sure that you are obtaining and getting your self-care as needed and as necessary as possible.
My advice for someone who's interested in becoming a doula would be to make sure that you're really listening to what your client wants. And you're not only listening to what your client says, but you're looking at body language, you're listening to their history, you're listening to their family, you're listening to all aspects of what that person needs, and not just needs, but also wants. And it's important as a doula to make sure that you're there for someone and that you're advocating for them, for who they are as a person and not just their pregnancy and not just their baby.
Make sure it's something that you want to do. As exciting as it is to help and empower mothers, it's also time consuming. It can be taxing on the family. So you got to make sure that your family has an understanding of the important work that you do. What's important is knowing your why. I'm doing it because, I want to help other mothers, have wonderful experiences. I want to be able to empower other Black and brown moms to know that not only are they supported, but, they will be advocated for and their bodies will be respected.
Next, we are so grateful to have the opportunity to share an inspiring story from a fellow bereaved mother.
To my baby boy, Princeton, I'll never forget the day you became my sunshine and my star. I was blessed with your love March 14th, 2016 at 11:20 p.m. You were 7 pounds, 1 ounce, and 20 inches. Your first bath was March 16th, 2016. Until this day, I still don't know why your nurse gave you a late bath. I still giggle. Princeton, you became our bundle of joy. You brought so much love and happiness to our family. On May 21st, 2016, your sun had set. The day I lost you, I became numb and weak. My whole world turned black. I no longer see your face, and it breaks my heart. I didn't get to say how much I love you. God saw you getting tired and called you home. I am sending a dove to heaven with a parcel on its wings. Be careful when you open it. It's full of kisses, wrapped up with a million hugs. I miss you, and I'm also sending you lots of love from the family. When I get to heaven, the first thing I'm going to do is look for you. Princeton, you will forever be my hardest goodbye. Thank you for being my sweet little angel. But more, thank you for walking beside me on this journey called life. Love, always and forever, your mom.
Next, we have a very special part of our program, our Angel Butterfly Memorial Display that will honor babies who have left this world too soon, featuring special music by Shekinah King.
Dragon tails and the water is wide. Pirates tale and lost boys fly. Fish by moonbeams every night. And I love you. Godspeed, little one. Sweet dreams, little one. Love will fly to you each night on eagle's wings. Godspeed, sweet dreams. Rocket races all tuckered out. Superman's in pajamas on the couch. The goodnight moon will find the mouse. And I love you. Godspeed, little one. Sweet dreams, little one. My love will fly to you each night on angel's wings. Godspeed, oh sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. God bless mommy and matchbox cars. God bless daddy and thanks for the stars. God hears amen wherever we are. And I love you. Godspeed, little one. Sweet dreams, little one.
Hello, everyone. My name is Corey Whitmore. I am Alana Rose's dad. I really wanted to take the time just to give a sincere thank you to everybody that has helped and been a part of this process as far as putting together this second annual Butterfly Ball. I cannot, put into words how much this means to me and means to our family.
We want to give a couple special thank yous to some key folks that helped make this evening possible. First, we want to thank Sonic for helping with the audio and video production of tonight's program. We want to thank the Madison Concourse Hotel and Governors Club for being incredible once again to work with as we've tried to figure out how to do a hybrid event during COVID, and we can't wait to be back there again full on in person next year for the third annual Butterfly Ball. Thanks to Nothing Bun Cakes for donating once again delicious buntinis for our desserts, for our to-go meals. Little Frog Photography for taking pictures on the purple carpet earlier this evening. We want to thank the talented Shekinah King for sharing her incredible voice and music with us this evening. Thanks to Ryan McAdams for his incredible artwork and all of our speakers who helped to share their words with us this evening. Thanks to every sponsor and every silent auction donor. Without your support, this night would not be possible. And finally, our planning committee, we want to give a special shout out to them, to everyone who has been working throughout the year to make sure this event happened. We are so grateful for each of you and the help that you've provided. And finally, everyone who's watching this program, whether live or recorded, we want to thank you for being a part of this work and for continuing to support the work of the Alana Rose Foundation.
And while the program has come to a close, the party is not over. The silent auction is still open until 9 p.m., and donations can still be made at any time at alanarose.org. VIP guests, you are invited to stick around. We have an exclusive party coming up next with DJ Stack Trace.
So we can't wait to see you all next year at the third annual Butterfly Ball. Thanks again, and have a wonderful night.
Teach my song to rest to you. When temptation comes my